Look, if you really want to get what Elon Musk is building, you've got to understand how he sees the entire universe. In a recent, really wide-ranging conversation, he laid out this whole philosophical blueprint that connects everything, from AI all the way to the nature of our reality. So let's dive in and break down his worldview slide by slide. It all kicks off right here. And this isn't just some casual late-night thought. Musk says this fundamental, existential question is literally the engine driving all of his work. It's this deep desire to figure out what's really going on and what questions we should even be asking about the universe. And how he answers that question? Well, it's shaped everything he does. So what is that mission? It's huge. He wants to expand the scope and scale of consciousness itself. His theory is that if we can do that, we stand a much better chance of understanding the universe. Now, I know that sounds super abstract, right? But the way he explains it is actually surprisingly simple. So here's how he puts it, and it's actually a pretty cool way to think about it. You're made of trillions of individual cells, but together, as a human, you can do things a single cell could never dream of, like talk or build a spaceship. He sees humanity the same way. The better we can all communicate, the smarter our collective human brain gets, and the bigger the problems we can solve together. Okay, so if the big goal is to build this collective consciousness, how do you actually do that? What are the tools for the job? And this is where his companies start to look less like separate businesses and more like pieces of a giant puzzle. He's not just making products, he's building the plumbing for a connected global mind. All right, first up, X. He's really clear that he's not trying to build just another dopamine-generating video stream. His words, not mine. Instead, his goal is to create a true global town square, a place where ideas can flow freely. He even talks about using stuff like automatic translation to break down language barriers so we can all be part of the same conversation. And if X is the software, well, Starlink is the hardware. It's the next layer of this whole infrastructure. What you're looking at is this incredible laser mesh of satellites in space, designed to beam high-speed internet to literally every corner of the globe. This is how you make sure that collective consciousness isn't just for a few people, it's for everyone. Okay, so we're getting more connected, AI is getting smarter, and all of this leads Musk to a prediction that is frankly pretty wild. He thinks it's going to completely upend the very fabric of our society, the very idea of work itself. And we're not talking about like a 4-day work week here. No. He's predicting that in less than 20 years, advances in AI and robotics are going to make work completely optional. Something you do if you want to, like a hobby. And forget universal basic income, he's talking about universal high income, a future where you can basically have any product or service you want on demand. So, okay, if nobody has to work, what happens to money? His argument is that money is really just a system we invented to manage who does what. It's for allocating labor. But if robots and AI are doing all the labor, do we even need it anymore? He thinks the whole concept of money might just go away. All right, so we've gone from consciousness to a world without work. But now he takes it one step further, a giant leap, really, into the very nature of our reality. Because if we're creating technology this powerful, what does that say about our own world? And the way he explains this is with an analogy that's so simple, it's brilliant. Just think about video games. 50 years ago, we had Pong, right? 2 little lines and a dot. Today, we have photorealistic games that are getting harder and harder to tell apart from movies. So if you just follow that line, where does it end? Pretty soon, they're going to be completely indistinguishable from reality. And that's where he drops the big one. If it's inevitable that civilizations will create countless simulations that are just as real as our world, then what are the odds that we're in the original one, the base reality? According to him, the odds are not good. He thinks it's way more likely that we're already living inside one of those simulations. Okay, whoa, that's a lot to take in. So let's pull back from the simulation for a second and bring this all back down to Earth. How does this grand cosmic philosophy connect to the actual companies he's building right now? Well, he says it's all starting to converge. You've got Tesla, he calls it the world leader in real-world AI, absolutely essential for things like self-driving cars and humanoid bots. Then you've got SpaceX. That's the heavy-duty transportation system you're going to need if you want to take consciousness off-world. And rounding it out, there's XAI. That's the pure intelligence layer, the brains behind the whole operation. And right here, this is the master plan. This is where all those pieces click together. He pictures this future with massive, solar-powered AI satellites out in deep space, just soaking up the sun's energy. And to build that, you need Tesla's energy and AI know-how, SpaceX's rockets, and xAI's intelligence models. See? They're not separate companies. They're all pieces of one giant mission. So after all that, the meaning of life, collective consciousness, the simulation, what's his advice for the rest of us? It's actually super simple and down to earth. For anyone out there trying to build something, he says, don't chase money. Instead, just try to be useful. Make good products, provide good services. Basically, aim to put more into the world than you take out. And that really brings us right back to where we started. This whole incredible blueprint for the universe, it all comes from that one question: what's the meaning of it all? And that leaves us and you with the final massive question his vision forces us to ask. In a world where you don't have to work